Okay, that's doing that. That's going to pop up somewhere. Good morning, y'all. And make sure this is on mute wherever this is going. Yep, that's over there.
Good morning from London, everyone.
And
Good morning.
hey, good morning, everybody. I hope you're having an amazing day. It is Wednesday. I don't know why I had Wednesday up yesterday, but it's Wednesday, March 18th, 2020. It is our daily misfit call. This is a call of a band of misfits, of people who don't quite fit together out there, but together we fit in here perfectly. And we're looking to see what we can do to take some of this amazing energy and pass it on to the world to help them have more, do more, be more, all by doing a little bit less. So as is customary with our morning conversations, as we start off by sending out some messages, send out 3 messages of love, of joy, of gratitude. There's Crystal, it's 4:30 in the morning for her. Goodness gracious, God bless her. I just want just a couple of moments of silence, just to pray for some of the things that are going on out there. Pray for you, your health, your wealth, your joy, to make sure you're finding it, make sure you're not losing it. So just a quick moment of silence for that and prayer. Maybe it's just taking a couple of deep breaths. Maybe it's just saying thank you for the things you do have. Okay. Let me see here. Let me get my page situated, set up here. Good morning, Shami. Good morning, Reka. Hey, Reka, do you have the link to your Instagram?
Yes, I'll do. I'll post it.
There?
Shall I post it in the chat?
For those of you that may or may not know, Reka is this amazing artist. And if you scroll to some of the earlier, right? Because there's some incredible body painting that's going on. If you scroll down farther into some of this page that she has, her place got her one of her sites got hacked, and we had a conversation the other day, and I was looking at this page, and there's just a lot of amazing artwork that she's done, and some of her first pieces of artwork that she's done. But I think it's for us to have, I don't want to say a distraction, but to have to have a place to look at things, to see things new, right? Because she does it with the same pencil we could hold in our hands, and she just creates this incredible pieces of art to look at, whether it be drawings of people or pencil drawings or just a variety of things. So that's just a place of beauty to go look at. So I really appreciate her. I love her energy, and I love artists because they're giving you the best duplicate they could. If you think about it, every artist's drawing, every artist's piece of work is a duplicate. The original still lies in the mind of the artist. Think about the stories you tell. Think about the pieces of art you need to get down. And if you ever talk to an artist, you'll realize that let me put it this way. I'm not going to make a carte blanche statement. I'm just going to say that every artist I've ever spoken with, that I've had the honor and privilege of communicating with in time and space, the artwork that they've created always had something to do with the story inside of them. So I just wanted, we meant to do that a couple of shows ago, but we got it done this time. So it's out there now. Appreciate you, Rick. I love you tons.
Thanks, Sean. Love you too.
How y'all doing this morning? This is right now what's going on in and around. Being able to take it day by day is important. A buddy of mine, Tom Chenault out in California, I just saw he did a post. He's doing an AA meeting, a Zoom AA meeting every morning at, I think is it 7 a.m., 8 a.m.? If somebody wants me to share that information with you, or you can find Tom Chenault on YouTube, but it's a global AA meeting at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And he's in Colorado. So he's getting up at 5 a.m. to do that. But he's just that kind of a soul because, they're keeping people from going to any meetings, right? I just was on a mastermind last night and we had some doctors speak. We had some financial experts speak, and you would have swore it was a CNN interview, right? The doctor that spoke last night on our mastermind call, there was 47 of us, runs 14 emergency rooms here in Dallas for Baylor University. The financial expert, and Dallas and down in Houston. And Houston is the hotspot for us with the corona. And then there was a financial expert came on, one of them has a half a billion dollars in real estate investments. The other one had 300 million. And they were talking about financial conversations of what to look for, what's happening, and some conspiracy theory, how do you say it? Conspiracy theory. No.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah, conspiracy theory.
What I'm looking for. You know what I'm trying to say.
I think our audio is delayed for you, Sean.
Conspiracy theories or something like that. I don't know why I can't say the word. Anyways, anybody have any ahas, awarenesses, or awakenings this morning or yesterday, or something that's happening, something that transpired yesterday, something they went, well, that was amazing. That was weird. That was crazy. If you do, raise your hand. If not, we're going to the storage. We're going to the vault. Audio is off. Sean can't hear us. Wait a second. Somebody's talking. Hang on. Let me change where this is going into. How about now? Can somebody just give me an audio?
Can you hear us now?
Okay. So that's
Is
over
that better?
here. Let me change that. Yeah, I can hear you. I heard you, Rhonda. Let me just swap it to another TV. Over to this one.
Yeah, otherwise you just looked rude. We were saying good morning to you and you just kept talking.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear it. Thank you. Who was that? That was Lutz. So thank you. Yeah, so good morning. I'm watching the green things going. I'm going, they must just be coughing or something. Okay. So I'll keep an eye on the hands there. What's somebody hoping for this morning? What's somebody hoping for this morning? You can type that in the chat if you want, or you can say it or share it. Change. Okay. Awesome. So we'll touch on that. If somebody wants to hear something, tie something else in, because here's the thing, no matter what you want, the words that will be shared here today will be what you will hear. Think about that for just a second. Julio, good morning. I see your hand
Good
up.
morning, Sean.
How are you?
Can you hear me, Sean?
Yep. Yes, I can.
I'm elated. How are you?
Outstanding.
That's great. So before y'all get into something y'all like to hear or change, I was wanting to read a few pages in my book that I was reading. So something I wanted to share was this little line I just read. And here it goes. So it says, all who read and understand and apply this philosophy will be better prepared to attract and enjoy these higher standards of living that always have been and always will be denied to all except those who are ready for them. So I just feel like that's something you really pretty much say throughout the majority of these calls.
Who's the author?
Napoleon Hill.
Is that out of Think and Grow Rich?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So here's the other thing he says in the preface of that book. I think that probably came out of the preface.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. So did you see in that preface also the sentence where it says, and once you read The Secret, once you read the Secret to Success, stop, turn down a drink, for your life will never be the same? You might not have seen it.
Repeat that last line.
So what it says is, when it says no fewer than 100 times has the secret to success been revealed on these pages.
Yeah.
But did it go on and say that the next sentence, it's not usually in the second or usually after the 18th publications, it'll say, stop, turn down a drink, for your life will never be the same from that moment going forward.
That one I did not see.
Okay. So what you said there is exactly what happens in all of these conversations. You're absolutely right. And thank you for reminding us that when Napoleon Hill was saying, so here's a question for you, Julio. When he has the audacity, think about this, when he has the audacity to tell me I'm not ready, did he say I'm not ready?
He didn't.
And when he says that for those that are ready to hear it, they can hear it, they will see it.
Yes.
How does he have the right to make such a determination whether I'm ready or not, right? Isn't that what people hear? He was just stating a fact.
Yes.
Some are ready, some aren't. The challenge is when people hear some are ready, some aren't, they hear, what do you mean I'm not ready? I didn't say it was you. Well, that's what it says in the book. Some aren't ready. Yeah. Are you some? Some are ready. Which one are you? But here's what it did say. And this is what I mean by digestion. That sentence alone, we could spend the next week on. We could spend the next 8 hours of daily morning calls and have a conversation about that one sentence. So what was he saying? What was he thinking? This is the preface. This is before the meat comes in. This is before the conversation comes in. This is to get you warmed up. And he said, and he wants to. So when we see things like Frank Kern, or we see things like Tony Robbins, when they do their online marketing, they're polarizing to magnetize. They're doing it a little bit different. They will say things like, before we get started, anybody ever been on a webinar like this? Tell me, type a W if you've ever been on a webinar that somewhere in the very beginning is, hey everybody, hi, my name's Sean Murphy. I hope you're doing amazing. Listen, let me tell you, let's start off first with who this webinar is not for. It's not for somebody who's going to whine about their future. It's not for somebody who's wanting a golden nugget to be handed to them. It's not for somebody who thinks they deserve stuff. And you're sitting there and you're going, that's not me. That's not me. That's not me. We didn't have the need. Napoleon Hill didn't have the need to polarize you back then, because there wasn't, the only option was to do what you do. There wasn't 1,000 other people doing what Napoleon Hill was writing. There wasn't 1,000 other people bombarding the working man to take control of his day. There wasn't 1,000 people bombarding and questioning. Do you make enough money? Do you have enough free time? That dialogue did not exist. So now what Napoleon Hill says is the same thing, but he says it in love. He says it in caring. You got to remember, this is a gentleman that made a decision in under 60 seconds. And there was a stopwatch clocking him. And if he took more than 60 seconds, he wasn't the man. And this book comes out. Listen, that sentence exists after 25 years of interviewing 500, 1,000 of the most amazing people, because he had to get a letter of introduction. His three-way to get a conversation with this person was a letter from somebody who all of these people admired or despised because they were in similar businesses and massive competition, but they came together in time and space to allow Napoleon Hill to write this book. So the chapter 1 hasn't even begun. Desire. Chapter 1 hasn't even been said. 25 years of existence. His child hasn't even been born yet with the challenges. And all of that to say, it's in this book and it shows up to you 60 years later. And it's inspired you. When we talk about leaving a legacy, when we talk about is it worth your time? So do me a favor, read that sentence again.
Okay. So he said,
Oh, do me a favor. Read the sentence just before this. And then read that sentence.
okay. Wait, hold on a sec. I think I went to the different
Okay.
preface. All right, so he said, Napoleon Hill's proven steps to riches are as valid for today's reader as they were for his contemporaries. All who read, understand, and apply this philosophy will be better prepared to attract and enjoy these high standards of living that always have been and always will be denied to all except those who are ready for them.
So are we not each other's contemporaries? Are we not each other's similar mindset? Are we not of the birds of a feather who flock together?
Yes.
Always been, but will always be denied to those who are not ready. What's happening right now is a state of preparedness in our time. So this change that Lutz was looking for, it's already happened. Are you prepared for the change? I can sit here and go, it's going to be dark. It's going to be dark. When I open my eyes, it's going to be dark. 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 Oh, it's dark. But in 4 hours, I can say it's going to be dark. It's going to be dark. It's going to be dark. I'm not ready for change. I want the change to stay the same. Sometimes the change we're looking for is to stay the same. The question is are we ready? Well, how do you prepare for something like this? You choose joy or you choose misery. If 80%, hold on a second, if 80% or 90% of doctor visits are stress related, you know why everybody's freaking out? Because they don't realize they're getting what they asked for. This is something beyond what you asked for. This is a virus. This is something that, it's a bug. You can get this. Most other dis-ease, right? Bob Proctor, the body dis-ease is a body not at ease. Are you ready to be healthy? Are you ready to be rich? Or if you're not, it will be denied to you. Health will be denied to you. Wealth will be denied to you if you're not ready. Are you ready to have more of what you want and less of what you don't? It's going to require you to do less. Go ahead, Bob.
What I'm driven to pay attention to there is the importance of language and interpretation of that sentence. And I'm thinking about yesterday, I suggested a way to approach a prospect by saying, you know, John, I'm wondering if you would share with me your ideas about having a plan B. As contrasted to, or with, have you ever considered having a plan B, John? There's a subtle difference there, which may imply for that, or maybe the prospect will infer, oh, he's telling me I'm less than because I don't have a plan B. I haven't considered it. But if I approach him and say, you know, I'm really wondering, do you have any ideas, or could you share with me your ideas about having a plan B in this crazy world we're in? A little difference, but it might make all the difference in terms of starting a real conversation with that prospect.
It's like the joke, the meme. Punctuation makes a big difference in the same sentence. So it is in the subtleties. And this is what we come back to day after day after day after day. The essence. How many of us heard, the book is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Manny. But I would also ask you to read right now. If you're going to read, Think and Rich by Napoleon Hill, Wallace D. Wattles, Science of Getting Rich. If you want to wrap your arms around what I consider to be some commandment-like books, those two are it. They're free. They're both free because I think Napoleon Hill's is free. I think it's in public domain. That means it's got to be over 100 years old. I don't know that one's free yet, but Science of Getting Rich is in public domain. And you can get, there's enough places you can get audios on this on YouTube. You could be listening to it on YouTube.
Yeah, Think and Grow Rich is available. It's out there available free.
Yeah. So and all of this to say, I would encourage you to, the couple of books, if you're going to read, I would encourage you to avoid the copycats. Now, there's some good ones out there. I get it. But right now, if you're looking to check your foundation, to find your place of peace, somebody said they wanted peace. Peace comes through joy. Peace comes through being in the moment. When you are in the moment, you have the primordial intelligence available to you. You have the ability to be at such a state, to have such a state of wisdom. When you are in the moment, listen carefully. When you are in the moment, you have the ability to dispel judgment. This is good, that's bad. It just is. That's when you're in the moment. If you have any prejudice, this is good, that's bad. They're good, they're bad. That this sucks, this doesn't suck. I wish for this, I want for that. And if you're wanting for something, you're not in the moment. Therefore, you have prejudice. You have one label and you are stuck. You are forever stuck in that moment of avoiding the moment. Compulsive thinking. Anybody having some compulsive thinking? I just can't stop my thoughts. It's because you're designing your day. You're designing the moments. You're designing your instances, your seconds of the day to avoid the day. How many of you have ever been sitting at a table and somebody knocks a glass and you grab it before it spills? You open a cabinet and something falls out and you grab it before it hits the counter. Somebody goes to trip and you grab something, or you stop yourself from falling, and all before you ever had a thought. It's called the right action. Sometimes you want to raise your hand here. Sometimes you want to raise your hand here. And just as you're going to go click the button, your heart is going, oh, this is going to be so awesome. Your brain goes, are you an idiot? You don't deserve to talk on this thing. You want to go off topic? Oh, come on. I promise you, if your hand ever moves towards the button, if your hand ever wants to raise your hand, if you ever want to click and say, I'd like to share something, think about how your brain is asking you to say it. I need to say something. Then you need to say something. I want to share something. You want to share something. Think about which source is it coming from. Either way, it's okay. Say it, share it. It's going to be a lesson for all of us to learn. Good morning, Michael. Hello, brother.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, Sean, I was wondering if you found the secret in Think and Grow Rich. And the reason I was wondering that is because I'm not sure if I found it yet, but I am very curious about it.
So I'll let you answer the question. What do you think?
I think you did. I definitely believe you did, in some sense at least. Maybe I know there's a big master key, but I know you unlocked like a lot of the master key.
So here's the question then. If I saw it through my eyes, would it ever make sense to you?
No, it wouldn't. So it wouldn't even matter if you found it to me in that sense.
So pay attention to the delusion your mind just created for you. Meaning, I wonder if he found it. What does it matter if he found it? I believe the answer to that question is yes. In the 76, 77 times I've read it. That's why I knew when he was reading that preface. How did I know it was from Napoleon? Who's the author? Napoleon Hill. That's out of the preface. See, when somebody when somebody can tell me chapter and verse of a Bible, I'm amazed. And I love it. I love that they have those reference points. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, Wallace D. Wattles. Those are kinds of ones that I've done my best to weave into my cells of my body a little bit more.
Hey, Sean.
Yes.
So I know it's like it doesn't matter if you found the secret or not. The reason I guess I asked is because you said that you read it 76 times, and
Yep.
like that like makes me feel good because I read the book once and I was like, oh, I didn't find it. So it's like, all right, be a little more patient.
So let me do this for you. On the front of the book, imagine there's a big X like that's on a pirate's map. What's under the X?
The treasure.
Right. And if the X is true, it's not a hidden one like the Curse of Oak Island where they keep searching and they keep finding all of this different stuff. But if on the front of Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, normally it's on my desk, but I know I just moved some things around. It's right in there. There was a big X. What would that mean? Underneath that X is what?
I believe the treasure. Yeah.
Right. But it's in all of the pages. And here's the thing. The reason that it says, for those that are ready, he didn't say you'll never be ready. For those that are ready, it'll be revealed. So the question is that if it's in every page, and it's been in every page since the year the book was published, and it's been in every chapter, and it's no fewer than 100 times, no fewer than 100 times has the secret to success been revealed on these pages. The moment you receive the secret, stop, turn down a drink, for your life will never be the same. Are you ready to have peace? Are you ready to have change? That's the two questions that were asked so far. Because soon as you're ready to have peace and have change, you'll hear what you need to hear. You'll see what you need to see. How is it that we have 895,000 different churches and different ministers, and everybody's going to tell you their version of the Bible? Why do they let why are there Bible studies? Why do they let you tell the story about Jesus a different way? Why do they let you say what Samson did and why he was who he was, and how was he supposed to take up, or Pontius Pilate? When literature is written in such a way, it allows interpretation of a choir of people singing the same song, but each having their own tune, their own sound, their own reverence to the words. It's an amazing thing. I promise you. You read a sentence, I read a sentence, you'll be like, how did you get that? You know what I'll say? How did you get that? Julio read this sentence. I asked him to read the sentence before it. Why? Because when something is a trigger, we've said this just recently, when something is a trigger to you, find out the source of that trigger. Everything builds and builds and builds and builds. And we've spent 20 minutes talking about one sentence in a book. I'm going to ask you if the literature you read stays with you as long as the food you read, if your literature could at least stay with you for as long as the food you eat, the source you eat, you'd all be starving. You'd all be a stick. You'd all be 18 pounds going, I need more food. And you'd be buying another book and you'd be reading right through it, and it would stay with you. Wouldn't stay with you at all. You'd probably hardly have to go to the bathroom because you didn't get enough. You didn't digest, you didn't eat enough of the book. Some of you could actually eat the pages, physically eat the pages, and get more out of it. I know that was kind of a slap. My point is that when you read something, it's going to displace something else. If not, it's just information on top of information on top of information on top of information. And the source, the foundation with which you're building your information, what is it? What is the source that you're putting this on? So I would ask Julio, what's the book you read just before Think and Grow Rich? Can you tell me the name of it without looking on your shelf?
I honestly can't even think of it. I think it was The Secret of no, it wasn't The Secret. It was The Magic of Thinking Big.
Great book. Can you read? Do you have a sentence in the preface there that excited me?
I can't think of anyone from that preface.
See, the same thing happens where we get conditioned to overwhelm. And we think because we do a lot, we can check a lot of boxes. At some point, it gives us the key. If I get that checked and that checked, if I get all these checked, I'm going to win. Not necessarily the case.
Hey, Sean. Oh,
Go ahead, Michael.
sorry, I just want to say real quick. So what you just said, would you suggest rereading it over and over again, then trying new books out?
What I would suggest is reading sentences of it and seeing if it makes sense. And don't read if the sentence you just read doesn't zing you somewhere, because now you're driving by just like we do in our profession, 90 miles an hour with our door open, right? You got your brain open and you're reading this book and you're going through all of these words and you're going through all of these pages and you're saying, I'm on page 74 and now I'm on page 96 and I'm halfway done. I don't know if I'll ever finish the book, because every time I open the pages, it's something different. So I would encourage you. How many versions of the Bible are there? I mean, like, which one do you have? Not what printed version. Is yours different? So if I picked up a Bible here and went to Sofia, Bulgaria, Would the Bible over there kind of look the same, sound the same, look the same? I bet you could, if I read Isaiah chapter 16, I don't know if this exists, but chapter 16, verse 3-7 here and over there, wouldn't it be the same? How is it that they get something totally different over there? Same words. It's because it's a darn good book. Napoleon Hill, the one line they've taken out is that The Secret, the movie The Secret. They took out Esther Hicks and her husband, her voice that comes through, her higher self that comes through is Abraham, who talks through her. They took her out of the film. So the film changed, but it was only from a retraction, a removal of Esther Hicks. No longer talking about Abraham. She asked to be removed from it. So there's certain things that authors have been changed, but the message is still pure.
Hey, Sean,
Yes, Julio.
if I could add to that, in regarding to the question Michael asked you,
Yeah.
of whether or not you found the secret in the book and how he said he didn't really find it the first time you wrote it.
Mhm.
I just want to say it as the way Napoleon said it. So he said, I wish I could tell you how you will know if you're ready, but that would deprive you of much of the benefit you will receive when you make the discovery in your own way. So that's it pretty much.
I'll let you know this. The awakenings I had from reading that book were never the same sentence. When it says no fewer than 100 times has the secret to success been written in there, I've read it 76 times. I've gotten the secret of success for me probably 72 times. Oh God, that's what that meant. Son of a biscuit eater. Are you kidding me? It was right there. How did I not see that before? How did I not see that 71 times ago? If you've seen one sunset, why would you ever go to the beach? Why would you ever struggle? Why would you ever speed yourself along to try to get to the beach before the sun sets? If you've ever fallen in love with somebody and you've seen their smile and you've given them a kiss that changed your life, why would you ever want to kiss them again? If you've heard your baby laugh and it absolutely tickled you with joy, it put a spark and love inside of you that it's impossible to explain as a parent. Why would you ever want to hear him laugh again? Is it possible that our heart is no longer the master and the brain has tricked us into being the master, that when we have joy, when we have peace, when we have change, when we have all of the things we desire, we don't deserve it. So therefore we go back to the quote grind that you all use that word. I don't ever want to be in a grinder. I've watched things go into a grinder. We used to have a grain grinder, grind up corn and turn it into grain. We'd put molasses and different things in there, nutritionals to feed the cows, and it would just absolutely pulverize it. I'm in the grind this morning. I'm getting on the grind this morning. Man, I just wish you safety and health in your grind. You're taught these words because they sound cool. It sounds like I'm working hard. Why are you working so damn hard when all you want is peace and change? Peace doesn't require effort. You want change? Be the same for a minute. Be the same for just 1 minute. Be in sustained thought, the most difficult thing for man and woman to do. The idea of sustained thought. Be at peace for 5 minutes. Just be at peace. Be at joy. Can you breathe in faith and courage and exhale fear and doubt? Can you have this state of mind that puts your body right now into a tingling sensation? Right now, my toes are tingling. Every cell in my body is on fire right now because I'm connected to the source. I'm connected to God. I'm hearing the Holy Spirit, and I'm being in this moment, and I'm being present. I'm being loud because my loudness of my joy needs to override that dull, boring, monotonous tone of you're not good enough. I am good enough. And in this moment, you're good enough. I don't know. Did anybody have stress in that moment? Sometimes we have to get loud. Sometimes we have to be so present that we have to let the enemy know, not now. We have to have community. If I sat here and did that to myself right now, if I sat here and y'all weren't here, 55 of you weren't here right now, and I was sitting there and I was, don't we call those people crazy? You know why people for centuries never said they had these downloads? And people who had these downloads, Edison, Einstein, Hippocrates, all of these people, Epictetus, these people who had these downloads and people who had these conversations with each other, the Stoics, who challenged the universe, who asked questions of themselves and of each other. What makes you great? What makes this work? What right does Epictetus's words from 2,000 years ago, more than 2,000 years ago, BC, what right do his words have yet to circle in our time and space about desire? What did they know about desire? They didn't have Netflix. They didn't have Cinemark. They didn't have Spider-Man and Batman and Penthouse or Playboy. They didn't have that stuff. How could they speak of desire? They didn't have my company's compensation plan or my leadership. They didn't have my guy who's just bought 2 Lamborghinis and I'm trying to figure out and I'm desiring to be like him. They didn't have that desire. They were sitting around a well on a porch. That's what stoicism means. It means conversation from a porch. Well, guess what? We're going back to a time of the porch. People are singing off their porches. And we write movies about it, and we put 2 million views about it, or 18 million views about somebody singing opera off of their porch, and we think it's brilliant. They were doing this 2,000 years ago. Wake up. Why? Because they wanted peace. Why? Because they wanted change. Are you prepared for a moment that never existed before? Now, we have a common thing to talk about. We have a common enemy to talk about, something that's causing us to go into our homes. Maybe it's damn time we went into our homes and we picked up the good book. We picked up a good book. The common enemy is fear and doubt. It's not this corona thing. Conspiracy theorist. I almost had it. I think that's it. I don't know why it doesn't sound right.
Conspiracy theory.
There we go.
There you go.
Funny how one syllable can take away the whole thing. I lay before you life and death. What if he just ended it there? Choose life. Why do we need to be reminded of that? And why 2,000 years ago? I don't know how long ago that sentence was written, but I would be curious to hear what was the sentence before that. Absolutely. And if they're talking about fear, what's their job? To get your eyeballs. And the easiest way to get your eyeballs is to either show you cat videos that causes emotion. Isn't that what we all see when we see the cat playing the piano, right? And the cat's right. And we laugh. We love emotion, but because we're designed to be connected in community. And because we're told you're not good enough, you're not tall enough, you're not short enough, you're not skinny enough, you're not fat enough, you're not black enough, you're not white enough, you're not yellow enough, you're not brown enough, you're too brown, you're too tall, your hair's too curly, your hair's too straight, your nails are too pointy, they're not too pointy, your fingers are too short, you got a Shrek hand, you got spider fingers, whatever it is. We've all got everything we ain't got. But what do you have? In this moment, you get to choose misery or joy. That's all you have. It's the only choice you need to make. In this moment, what is your choice, misery or joy? And if it's joy, guess what happens? Guess the only thing that can happen in your life is joy. Brittany, does anybody ever heard of Brittany? Brittany, good morning. Welcome to the call.
I woke up late, but I am so desperately trying to figure it all out.
So let's stop
And
with that. Stop right there, and I'll explain why it's such a challenge for you. What are you so desperately?
oh,
And then right after that, you said a word that will absolutely crystallize your desperateness will always exist.
yeah,
I am so desperately begins with a T.
trying,
Yeah. Right there's, I don't know I don't need to know the rest of your sentence.
right?
So let's convert that. So if you, when you meet somebody who's desperate, do you want to hang around them? If you didn't know them,
No.
if they showed up in a room and they sat next to you at the movie theater and they were desperate, what would you do? You'd move. What Jim Rohn say? You're not a tree. You're not a tree, so you could move.
Yeah.
So you sitting next to somebody who's desperate. What's the energy of that person who's desperate?
I can't put it into words.
Is it confidence?
No, it's the word that I want to say is yearning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But here's the thing. But if somebody's desperate, aren't they confident they're desperate?
No.
Yes, they are. They're
No.
confident they're desperate. They're confident they have to be desperate. They're absolutely sure they have to be desperate. They know when you have an emotion so strong as desperate in your life, it is a knowing that you are desperate. The challenge is in the knowing that you're desperate, you're not looking for the answer. You think knowing you're desperate is the answer. That's not the answer. But it's the only thing they can focus on. They're a hammer, so everything is what? A desperate nail.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay, that was your stupid. I'm not. Let's move on. You hear what just happened?
No, it makes sense.
No, I know it makes sense, but
Oh.
the way you said it for everybody to hear, because if I was not me, I would go, see, I told her I'm right. And you were just absolutely slapped sideways. And it's like, okay, move on to your next statement, because you're not going to change my mind on this.
Wow.
Here's my question.
I am as clear as a lake, I guess.
Okay. Do
Can
you know
see
the
right
ru-
through
do
me.
you know? Oh yeah, I was gonna say, do you know the rule of digging a hole? Once you're in one, stop.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Why is it? What would be the feeling? I need you to sit for just a second. I need us all to sit for just a second. What would be the feeling if that subtlety? See, when we have gotten to know you, Brittany, absolutely more than probably you ever desired. We get to know you because there's this level of vulnerability that you've expressed and you've exposed, and because you have this gift of being able to get into a dialogue and truly have a one-on-one, but there's 50 people listening, that part vaporizes away, because your desire to get better, your desire to increase your capacity, to your desire to increase your capability, your desire to increase your everythingness, to work to remove this story that's holding you down. The when they have the rockets, right? The rocket actually fires off, and there's still things that hold it down while it's firing off, while it's transitioning enough energy out
Oh
the
yeah.
tail end of the rocket. There's things that hold it down. So that thing could actually take off. But what they're doing is they're wanting to get enough energy so that as soon as it takes off, it takes that first shot. It takes that first bit of momentum. The amount of energy it takes to move that rocket an inch is almost as much energy that's required to get it into space. To move it its first inch. But the reason they have to hold it down is because so when it needs to take that first inch, we can actually have the things that spin around that keep things on its
Axel.
yeah, but the axis, but it's the things that spin, gyroscopes, to keep the gyroscopes so that they can
Yeah, I would've
they're
never guessed
spinning
that.
fast enough to keep it centered. So you're still in lockdown, and that's okay. You want to know the great news? Your engines are firing up. So this desperate, do you think once the rocket goes off, do you think about this for just a second? Do you think that the rocket exhaust that's creating, for every action there's a reaction, do you think the rocket exhaust, when the engines fire at full, when the engines fire at enough energy that they're firing at to lift the rocket off, do you think the flames are desperate for the rocket to move?
No.
All they can do is fire. So do you think that the flames would ever get desperate enough to go, what are you doing? Why are we doing this? And the flames keep coming out, and the nose, the mouth of the rocket piece, where the flame is exchanging from the gas that it is to the fire that creates the restriction, that creates the propulsion. Do you think at that moment of transition that the gas that's turning into this amazing energy source is going, why are we doing this? I'm desperate for this damn thing to move. This sucks. Why are we doing this? And think about all of the rocket fuel that actually went into the ground and never moved the rocket an inch. All it did was create this nice, beautiful plume. You know what it had to do? You know what that flame had to do? It had to transition itself to go, well, I guess I wasn't the propulsion one, but I'm this beautiful cloud. Look at this beautiful cloud I'm making. Could you imagine the amount of psychology and the amount of psychologists that could make money from the rocket fuel, who comes to its office for the first 4 seconds of that rocket firing before it ever lets go of the clamps? And they're sitting in the doctor's office going, but I never moved the rocket. I'm not good enough.
So basically, utilize every portion of yourself for what it is supposed to do and turn it into a collective of greatness.
So here's a question for you. When's the last moment that was absolutely magnificent for you?
I don't know.
So can I?
I didn't really think about it that much either.
Sure, but
Yeah.
here's, ask me.
No, I don't want to. You're gonna say something like this morning, right now.
Yes.
Actually, maybe right now.
It is.
Yeah.
It is right now. I've never thought of rocket fuel, each little rocket fuel sitting there being a person and having a mind and going, I'm not good at that. I've never used that expression. This is the greatest moment of my life right now. And I have you to thank for it. I would encourage you that this is the greatest moment of your life right now. In this moment, you get to choose joy or misery. Because if we're waiting for another moment to happen, then this one, why is this one no good? You want to know why we sit in these mindsets of doubt and fear? Because we're saying this moment's no good. If this moment was the absolute most purest joy, do we have memories of other joys? Yes, but has this moment in time ever existed? You are in a place in time in history that has never existed. We want to be these cavaliers. We want to be these discoverers. We want to be these people who are discovering new things in life. What if you got the Nobel Peace Prize today because you discovered how to awaken you? Is this not the greatest moment in your life? Because we want change. This is change. This is change. We have traveled through time and space. We have traveled through space. If anybody has ever seen, we're not traveling through space like this. And has anybody seen that one depiction, right? Because we're in this expanding, the universe is expanding and it's constantly expanding and it's constantly growing. You realize that this plane that we show in this two-dimensional platform where this planet's spinning around this planet, you got to turn that thing on its side. We're rotating like this as in relationship to the direction we're moving. We are moving away from the Big Bang, from whatever we are moving. That's the thing. Whatever your thought is of how we got here and how we were made, we're still moving. We're spinning, but we are moving through this universe that's been created. And it shows us doing this. So we are on this corkscrew and everything is rotating around each other, spinning on its own axis. But yet we're moving through space at thousands and thousands of miles an hour. And everybody's waking up going, oh gosh, I got to get toilet paper. What? And that's just our galaxy. I need peace. Oh, thank God there's peace in the planet. Thank God Jupiter isn't going, that son's a biscuit eater, Neptune. I don't know. Make a decision, Neptune. You're a planet or you're not a planet. What do you want to be? What? How many of us woke up this morning going, I wonder if they're going to redefine Pluto this morning? Oh, God, is it a planet? Is it a moon? What's the problem? Oh, poor Pluto. Oh, poor Pluto. How many of you woke up this morning going, I wonder where Voyager's at today? It's just entered into intergalactic space. It left our universe. It left our rotational planets. It's entered into interspace, the galaxy. It's somewhere in the galaxy. Anybody wake up this morning going, I wonder who's going to find the golden record? I don't have toilet paper. I'm going to go stand in line at Costco with 300 other people and get and make a truckload of toilet paper disappear in half an hour. Is this not the greatest moment in time? Because it either is or isn't. For those that are ready, it is. For those that aren't, they won't see it. You want to know the secret? Be ready now.
Mhm. Mhm.
So if you'd like to finish so that was desperate. So that was just the word desperate, right? You see why it takes me a month of Sundays to read a book? So you have never tried anything, Brittany, in your life.
That's actually true.
Yeah, no doubt. We had a phrase when I was growing up, right? No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah.
Right? You have never tried anything. You have never tried anything in your life. And when you say trying, it's to make it the statement easier for those around you to be able to accept your drivenness. So you want to tell me what the real sentence is you're trying to say? And you're trying to sugarcoat something that you're not good at sugarcoating.
I don't understand.
So when you speak these moments of vulnerability, I'm desperately
That's the sentence. I don't understand.
Right. So I'm desperately trying. You don't understand. How is that even possible for any of us to not understand? What is there to understand?
My head hurts.
I love you. Ask your heart, what is there to understand? All of you, ask your heart, what is there to understand?
It's crazy because my mind says everything. My heart says nothing.
Exactly. Listen, I need you to hear this. I need you to hear this. They're both telling the truth. What is everything? What is everything?
Nothing.
Isn't everything beyond thought? To try to gather everything, you can't imagine everything. So your brain is saying, understand everything, which is beyond thought. What is nothing? For sake of geometry and mathematics, nothing is under thought. So if you're under thought and beyond thought, are you ever in thought? Everything we want is outside of thought. Everything we want is beyond thought. So how do we go to no thought? We go to in the moment.
We go to in the moment, which is
No
feel.
thought, which is
Oh.
which is total energetic. If you've ever told a story and you got goosebumps, chicken skin, whatever you call it, what do you call it?
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps. Did you ever tell us, when's the last time you told a story and you got goosebumps?
I don't know.
So this, again, this is the brain keeping you from your goosebump conversations. Tell me something you love.
Oh, this is too much.
No, it's not too much. This is we're gonna have. That's the distraction. Here's listen very
Okay.
carefully, everybody. Listen very carefully, everybody. When you go to mentor people, when you go to help people have more of what they want and less of what they don't, when you help them do something they didn't know they could do, remember that's the definition of a mentor. But they say, this is too much, I need to stop. That's the distraction of the breakthrough.
I don't
that's
need
what,
to stop.
I know you don't, so you're not gonna. I
No.
ain't letting you. The only way you're gonna stop is hang up.
And that's rude.
Yeah, well, yeah, unless it's not. So what's something you love right now? What's something that excites you right now? And it could be anything. It could be business. It doesn't have to be, well, how do I answer that? Because that's what goes through your head every time I ask you a question. Well, what's that? What's the best answer for that?
Relationships.
So
connections.
relationships. So connections. So
That's what
what would
excites
the
me.
ultimate connection sound like? What would the ultimate connection feel like?
Me understanding myself.
Okay, so
And then
you understanding yourself. Would you think that up until this moment, and then up into this moment, and up into this moment, you've actually lived in those moments? Would it be fair to say that everything previous of this moment you've lived in?
yes.
Would it be fair to say that everything previous to this moment got you to this moment?
Yes.
So is this moment more important, or do you need to understand how you got here?
The moment is more important.
So then is it okay if we relinquish your desire to figure out how you screwed things up or how you got through things? Because whatever it was, it got you here. And this is the moment that we need to talk about. So now if the past is amazing, it was brilliant, it was everything that got you here, it was every piece of gold that got you here, it was every piece of coal that got you here. But in this moment, so now if we're in this moment, do we need to understand the past, or do we need to be open enough to experience everything of every single possibility that's coming? Because the past is defined by your memory. What is the future defined by? Can you define anything in the future? If you're not in thought, if you're not using your past, what are the possibilities that lay before you?
Endless.
So is it okay if you become accustomed to endless open possibilities?
The right answer would be yes, but I no.
So who is saying the no? Who is the knower of the no?
I don't know, blank to be in control.
Okay. So then who is the knower of the unlimited possibilities that exist that yet to come to you? Who knows that one?
Nobody.
You just said it. You're the one that said it. Who knows that you said the word, there's unlimited possibilities. Who was the knower that said that?
Me.
I don't know, but think about that. Who is the knower that said that? You know that. How could you know that and not know that? You know that. So now the question is which is going to be the one that needs to be in to have your space and time? The knower of all history or the knower of unlimited possibilities?
Realistically, the knower of all possibilities, but the knower of history.
So you always put
won't.
this caveat. You always put this caveat on of you're not good enough. realistically.
What is caveat?
Caveat means this condition. Well,
Okay.
yeah, but the one, the knower, should be the one I should use, but I can't. Who is making this
Achieving that.
decision? Who is making this decision to be the controller of the past?
I am.
Mm-mm. It's not you.
My. No?
No, you are the one asking the question. You wouldn't ask the question if you were the one that knew it. I'm desperately trying. Ask me, then answer the question. Who's desperately trying to do whatever it is you want to do? Who is the knower of that question? I'm desperately trying. Is that the controller? The controller's already in control. I'm desperately trying to free myself from the controller. That's the question. The I don't understand gives you unlimited possibility. In not understanding, everything is possible. In the I know, you fraction reality and you take the entire world to a single thought. I am. You are what? I am rich. You've fractionated, when you say I am rich, you've just fractionated the entire universe that exists in your mind to you are rich. It doesn't, you, in that moment, you can't be happy. You can't be joyous. You can't be sorrow. You can't cry with a friend. You can't love with a friend. You can't have an orgasm. You can't have anything in that moment because you are rich. You fractionated the entire universe to I am. I am means I know. None of us know.
Mhm.
I am is the word of God. If you just say I am and leave it there, it's just like in the Quran. It says, thou shalt not kill. It says, unless justifiably. How hard do I have to justify if I really need to justify? We're always looking to justify our righteousness. If we just said I am, that would be good. That's the word of God. I am. But when we say, I am rich, I am tall, I am skinny, I am healthy, I am this, I am that, you fractionate, you take the entire world and you shatter it with a hammer and you pick up this one piece and go, I am this stuff. When you say, I am, you give away all of the control to the controller. You take it away. You take their legs right out from under them. I am in control. No, you're not. I am. I am control. I am not in control. I am happy. I am sad. I am everything that needs to exist in this moment. So what's the sentence somebody's saying in your mind right now? What's the sentence that nowhere is saying to you right now?
My mind is blank.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. That's all we're looking for. We're looking for blank. Because when your mind is blank, what can you put onto it? What can you put into it? On a blank board, what can you write on it? Anything.
Right.
Ah, see, that second one kicked in. And now if you have a blank board, how much control do you really have? Unlimited.
Less.
Unlimited. Because
Right.
who is the author on the board? See, now you, the knower, the lover, the one that sits before me now, who's going to write onto the board? You. And if I choose to
am.
write on your board, if you choose to allow my words to sit on your board, imagine these words, and it's like it's a voice to text transcription, and my words are showing up on your board. What can you do to any words that are on the chalkboard?
Erase them.
When do you choose to erase these old thoughts of yours? When do you choose to erase these moments that you're not good enough, you're not tall enough, you're not strong enough? When do you choose to erase the grudges that you carry, the burdens that you carry? When do you choose to erase and start from this moment? In one single breath, it's all gone. And you have unlimited, endless possibilities for you to be in the absolute most amazingest of joy, without distractions.
Mhm.
When that sinks in, when that settles into you, there will be tears that come. Because it's that little girl who will then say, I am a genius. There's nothing for me to carry. There's nothing for me to carry forward from this moment of everything I've ever had. I am this genius. I am going to have this childlike wonder. How many times do we hear that? Have a childlike wonder. Meet them with this childlike wonder. And back when you were 3 or you were 4 years old and you played in a mud puddle, you played with a doll and you were absolutely at peace. And then somebody said, well, she's going to be like so-and-so. And that tattoo on your heart has stayed with you. Put it up on the chalkboard. Look at it, love it, go, you know what? You got me here. I love you for that. Thank you. But I have no reason to be mad at anything previous than this moment, because in this moment, I choose joy. In this moment, I choose the word of God. In this moment, I choose the word of peace. Whatever it is, the word you choose, on the next exhale, you will be free. On every exhale, we are free. Because at one moment, there'll be the last exhale, and we will be free of this body, free of this mind. So if there will ever be an exhale for all of us, that is the last one, why are we mucking it up between now and that last one? In this moment, you choose joy or you choose misery. Tell me where you're feeling this in your body. Is it still in your head?
More so my stomach.
Because the
'Cause
stomach
I
is your
feel like that's where my gut is, like my
Yeah.
instinctual. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the second brain is. Previously, you said your head hurts. Now you say your stomach is a little bit discomfort, but that's because it's hiding. It moved from your head to your stomach. How does this stuff move? You've been sitting in the same spot. How does it move? Because it's hiding. So breathe in, exhale, feel it in your stomach and say, and I love that.
And I love that.
Where'd it move to?
I think it's still there, so I have to do it again.
Mm-hmm. All of this comes down to us loving us. My coffee cup is empty. This cup, it's got just a little bit of coffee in the bottom of it. Can you see without me spilling? It's got that much coffee in it. How can I go fill up your cup? I want to be a giver. I want to help you have more, do more, be more. I got to give you everything I got. Here's everything I got. You know why people get pissed off? Because we're giving them like drops. And we're giving them half of what we have. We've got 2 drops. We give them 1 drop. I gave them everything I got. Why aren't they in my business? You didn't give them everything you got. You ain't even got everything you need. Take time to fill up your cup. Take time to fall back in love with yourself. When you say, and I love that, it all goes away, because in love, there is no pain.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I love your sounds. You're like this little kid who's eating food. Oh, that's so good. Your sounds say more to me than your words will ever try to convince me of.
It's crazy because
we need crazy.
I appreciate crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen to that shitty word you used. I appreciate it. It's okay. I'll put up with it.
I always say that crazy. I always say that crazy is such a convenient word.
Until
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
RBP, jump in here.
ah,
Brittany, oh, I love you. I love you. I love the conversation we had yesterday. Sean and I spoke about you till what, 11:30 last night, 11:45.
you didn't even
And
call me
I
back.
spoke. I know I couldn't. I was speaking last night.
Oh,
I had to get
yeah.
up after you got on.
Where'd she go? RBP, you're muted. Where'd you go? Did she just get kicked off?
Yeah,
How
it says she's back.
As soon as I start sharing, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
No, I spoke last night at my sister's keeper, so I had to not be able to get back on the phone with you. But first of all, let me tell you this. I admire your strength to sit here and you're determined to find the answers that you need, and you're willing to let Sean G. Murphy now rake your butt over the coals and go toe to toe with you and help you see your true amazing self, and to help you realize how brilliant you really are and how much you have to offer this world. And as you do that, every one of us that are on this call that paying attention are seeing some this remarkable awakening and breakthrough. So Brittany, you are one heck of a woman, girl. You're phenomenal. And sitting here listening to you, I'm going, oh, this is what I sound like. And this is what I still sound like at times. Holy moly. And it's someone like Sean that God blesses our lives with. I've told him this recently, Brittany, he sees your true value because of the lens he looks through, the eyes God's given him to see you, to see your true beauty, your true worth, your true value, and what you have inside of you that's just been waiting for someone else to notice, to help you notice. And you know it's there. You know it's there. And that's why you're, in your words, desperately seeking to get this out. So Brittany, girl, you know, I think you're amazing. I have loved listening to this morning. And I'm sitting over here. Let me see if I can go back over here without losing signal and get my notes right quick. So the last few things he was talking to you about, the questions that came to my mind were, how do you fill your own cup? Can you fill your own cup? What fills your cup, and how often do you need to fill your cup?
Are
And
you
those
asking me? Oh,
No, you don't have to answer. You can answer them later. You can write them down. You can take notes on that. Because those are some key thoughts. And when you get some of those answers, it's going to give you more questions, but it's going to put you on the road like Julio asked. No, not Julio. Michael asked earlier. The secret in Napoleon's Hill. These are the kind of questions that will help you see the secret that he actually put on the pages that you can't see, but you want to see. Did that make sense how I said that? I think it did. It sounded right. But
So-
once you're walking, okay.
No, go ahead.
What you're walking through, well, first of all, it's beautiful to see. And second of all, it gives me a lot of hope, because we're so similar, that we can break through even more. And as we break through, other women will break through, other men will break through. This is not just a woman breakthrough conversation. If you hear Brittany, anybody can learn from her. And Sean and I talked about this last night. We stayed up till about 11:45. And then I think I stayed up a little bit longer because he asked me a question before he got off the phone, because that was nice of him. And it made my brain go, what? There's more? Huh? But Brittany, hearing you and listening to you light up my insides. you make me want to mature my soul even more.
Mm.
Because as it matures, my mind and my will and my emotions that's housed in the soul will be able to mature and see things in a total different way, and be able to see other people in a total different way, and myself in a total different way. And it's these kind of awakenings that will occur. And it's this. I'm going to take it back to Esther. I think it's the last chapter 4, chapter 3, chapter 4, the second to the last verse says, "And you were born for such a time as this." And I get to be right here, right now, with Sean and Brittany, and I get to see Brittany go through this, and I get to have inspiration that I can go through more. I can help people go through more. And then all the questions come rushing in. So I'm over here, I was trying to cook breakfast and I had to stop and just lean on the counter because I'm like, I can't miss a bit of this. I love it. I wanted to pull up the popcorn and just keep watching and be like, I hope Brittany doesn't hurt him here in a minute. He better stop. There's a couple moments where, Sean, you kept talking. I thought Brittany's going to kill him. She's going to kill him. He better stop. He better stop.
You know, the crazy thing is, or the more interesting thing is that even though Sean pushes all of my, I guess, my buttons, I don't feel the need to push back because I know it's for my greater good, but I also don't feel offended. So I guess this kind of goes, if you want to relate it to business, this kind of goes back to if you're speaking with your prospects, what is the intention that you are, the perception of the intention that you're giving off? Are you trying to genuinely help them, even though you're pushing some buttons? And I guess that's why he said, hey, I'm going to make you uncomfortable. Is it okay if I make you uncomfortable and take you? What? How does all of this make sense? That's crazy.
Well, it makes sense because you've come full circle.
It's crazy. I can't.
It's interesting because I told Sean last night that when I was done talking and sharing with these ladies what God put on my heart, someone came up to me, actually 3 different people came up to me, and it blew me away because they said, when you speak, we see compassion in your eyes and you see the hurt and you lift us up. I don't know if there's a greater compliment. And it's what you just said about Sean. When he speaks to us, he sees our hurt. His agenda is only to help. And help can have all kinds of different definitions. And it just ends up being what he sees we need and what he allows himself to get out of the way and hear God say, speak into this person. And that Brittany, I saw Ashley pop up. That Brittany is exactly why you and we have a fleeting thought of, I'm fixing to kill this man if he goes any further. But we leave it alone because instantly our heart connects to his heart. And it is exactly what you just said about sitting down across the table from somebody else. This is why I don't like scripts. This is why I don't like, this is how it's got to go. I don't like any of that because it takes away the heart being able to speak, and the brain gets to trick you and play like the heart and masquerade as the heart. And anybody can see through that. But when you speak from your heart and you let it take over, things change. It all changes. Now, what Sean is teaching you even more is what's in your heart. And what are you filling your heart with? Because out of the mouth, the heart speaks. And if you got a lot of people, what I say, you got a lot of people looking back at you with the stinky fart face, it's because something's wrong inside your heart, and that's what's coming out your mouth. And that's
Can you repeat?
Go ahead.
Can you repeat what you just said? You said sometimes the brain tricks us and
it matters. and it tries to make you do things the way the brain wants you to do things. And it wants you to get a pattern. Two things the brain does, will it kill me? And is there a pattern? So it'll masquerade as the heart and try to tell you, this is what you need to do next, how it needs to go. When the heart's going, I don't know what I need to do next. I gotta wait and see how they feel. How are they feeling? If you want it verbatim, you have to go back and listen to the recording. I don't know if I can ever repeat myself well.
Oh no, it's fine.
Because
I was typing it.
Okay, because it just comes out of me. But that's the reason every one of us shows up on this call, whether you realize it or not, is your heart is telling you to get on here. Your brain wakes you up, but your heart is saying, we got to get on this call because my heart needs to be fed. And your business will shift when you get into your heart. Everything will line up when you get into your heart. And when you begin to say sentences like, I feel like blah, 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 blah. And I feel like, oh, we're blah, 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 blah. Yeah, me too, Manny. I am a Shawnaholic. We need to have maybe a group meeting, a Shawnaholic meeting.
Sean Anonymous.
Yeah. Did
So-
that help, Brittany?
Yeah, it all helps. Even if I don't understand it in the moment, I'll get it later.
So imagine this. I don't know why I'm asked. I was asked to say this because it's not something that I would normally say. But when you and let's just go to Rhonda and Brittany and everybody else who can agree with their expression of sometimes the world is filled with stupid people. The world is full of them. Listen carefully. If that comment, if you were to be sitting in my chair right now, would not more of the world be stupid than you could ever see that's stupid? You get me?
Yeah.
At least there's some people who cut the way you cut and they're not stupid. I sit here from this chair of awareness, of experience, of awakening and learning every day and enjoying this moment. But I'm saying I'm not going to say that. I think it was said because it's a reference point of in this conversation that we have, in this dialogue, heated and or otherwise. The whole, to me, the entire world is quite insane. There's a handful of people in this world who I cater to because they still me as somebody in the insane asylum. So when we sit here and we have these conversations and you get to say, I don't understand because you get to, don't have to, you get to. Is it okay if you stay in this constant awakening of, oh, I just understood that. So when I write down these notes, listen, the notes that I get, just like Rhonda, I said, how do you feel? You can't give anybody from an empty cup. She had 6 questions that came from just that statement. That's when you turn into the consummate student, the answer is sitting right in front of me. It's as close as my skin. I need to have a conversation with the brain to get to my heart, because once you come up with an answer, don't we feel good about an answer? And the answer we're looking for is, how do I get better? So I'll write down questions like, where is your focus being directed? Where is your focus being pulled? And is it away from your desired focus? It's just a random sentence. What do you have to protect? What do you have to protect your current income? What do you have to protect your current income? What do you have to protect of your current income? What is your income benchmark that you could go into a marketplace with to start a new income today? What is your income benchmark? What skills, talents, or abilities do you currently have? And when I say income, it's about anything that comes into your life: joy, relationships, new friendships, income, anything that comes into your life. What is your income benchmark? We would correlate that to happiness, I'm guessing, peace, so that you could go into a new marketplace and begin today to maximize that income again. None of us want the same. None of us want the same. None of us could exist on the same. Nothing fails like success. What got you up the steps yesterday, if you did it the same way today, it would not work. You would fail. You would fall up the steps. You'd never make it to the first floor, because today's different. And so I'm going to speak to your subconscious here, Brittany, for just a second. The you that's awakening, the one that has the conversations with me when the call ends, the ones that you say, I hear Sean in my head, that one that has conversations with me in the field, in the universal conversational phone booth, I applaud you. I love you. I've been waiting for you for centuries. And I'm so glad that I got to circle with you in time and space in this moment. I'm so glad I got to circle with time and space with all of you in this moment, because this is the moment I've asked for. Thank you for giving me my gift today.
I use the word crazy so much. The shock factor is I never even asked my initial question, but you want to know what my initial question was? Question, huh?
Do you want me to know?
For shock value.
Okay, good.
I was going to ask about people and why is it that they feel that they need so much stuff when they don't?
It's their control. When you say stuff,
And the answer, you already answered it though.
Yeah. Describe stuff. Yeah. Let's say who you are speaks so loud. I don't need to hear the rest of your question.
I am people. People are me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And stuff is whether it's physical in the physical world or in the emotional world. Somebody who is in depression has nothing but their thoughts. They have nothing but their thoughts. Nothing else exists. They forget to eat. They forget to do all of the things. The house doesn't matter. The house goes into disheveledness. It's all they have is their thoughts, and they become depressed. We have our thoughts, but we have distractions that keep us from depression. Otherwise, we'd all be sitting here with, going. Thank you for being such a heroic or a heroine woman of strength.
Thank you for that.
Everything that got you to this moment has made you this powerful source of awakening. And just like when we see, a worm can crawl out of the ground and none of us know it. When Godzilla comes out of the ground, it kind of wakes up a country. And it makes newsworthy notices around the globe. You're this amazing angel that is breaking up and have yet to spread your wings, but you're breaking up and you're shaking the earth around you. You're shaking the world around you. And you're shaking up those who are in your world. And yet they're fearful of the ground breaking, the earthquake that will happen when you speak in your direction. When you speak in their direction, the ground breaks around them. Yet when you spread your wings, they'll realize they're covered in safety and health. You're just learning how to spread your wings. You're breaking out of the ground. You have yet to spread your wings. And when you spread your wings, they'll see the love. They'll see the courage. They'll see that you are there to help. Because up until this moment, up until you can get to spread your wings, there's fear. It's different. It's change. Oh my God. Have you seen what Brittany's doing? But as soon as your wings spread, it's like, oh, That's what we've been waiting for. That's the shadow we can stand under. Any last thoughts or comments from anyone? And Brittany, yes, I just heard your mind go, I don't want to say anything. I've been talking the whole time. I talk all the time on these things. I feel like I'm, so you're more than welcome
How
to
do
say
you
something.
know me so well? I feel so exposed.
Who's heard Brittany laugh before? I think that's one of the few times I've heard an ongoing giggle. I love you. Thank you for, this is like listening to my little kid laugh for the first time.
I think, but that may be like it though, because you just said it, and I may be realizing it that somewhere deep inside of myself, I know like, hey, I'm awesome, I'm amazing, I have all these things to offer. And I know because I've done it before. So when I act in all of myself and all of my glory and I go full throttle, I'm like, oh my God, I'm too much for other people. They can't take it. It's gonna run them away.
No. No one can ever think that way.
People they do, but
mind,
it's okay.
No, it is okay. I'm just saying that how like your mind is a muscle. So the way that we are consistently training it is the way that we act. So our subconscious is how we go to things. Like it's easier to go to that dark place because that's where your subconscious is. And that's how it is for me. And that I'm sure that's how it is for a lot of people. It's easy to go there, but training our mind and training ourselves to be in that space, to know where we are and know where we can thrive is where we're all trying to guide ourselves to be. I didn't even mean to be off of mute. I'm so sorry.
Here's the thing. In the trying is where we get lost. It's when somebody, all of a sudden we get a note and somebody's in the hospital and we have to, and nothing else matters except getting to the hospital. It's when somebody's hurt and we will go do anything we can to help them. It's when somebody we will do more, we will give up more of our freedom when somebody is in pain than we will when somebody's in joy. Because of our desire of what we are, how we were built and how we were created to be this person of community, but to be in service. How can we serve somebody who's having more joy than us? It's difficult. Well, they have all of the joy. There's a part of it missing. They have a fraction of the joy because it was something. We are more conditioned to be directed by objects, clothes, shoes, and they're all inanimate. That's why we have to buy more, because we hope that somewhere there's going to be a pair of shoes that look up at us and go, I love you. Because when we put on the dress and it shows off our curves, we go, damn, I look good. The dress is going, well, how the hell else are you supposed to look? This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm a good looking dress. Why would you? And what about the dress you put on that goes, no, that makes me look fat? And the dress is going, I didn't make you look fat. I didn't make you look tall. I didn't make you look short. In this moment, you have a choice. In this moment, 8/11. In this moment, 9/11 for you. In this moment, you have a choice, misery or joy. Ashley, you got your hand up.
Hey guys, sorry, I had to step away. I was cooking.
That's okay. Everybody's
but-
cooking. It's like the Rhonda show. Everybody's in robes. Everybody's cooking.
But I'm not in a robe today, so
Okay.
that's my question was, and I think Brittany may have answered this, which is interesting because yesterday she talked about mirrors, and I think for me, I've had people in my life that have been mirrors, and a lot of times they've, like how she said with you, for example, they'd say things that would maybe rub you the wrong way, but it was never a point to where like I'd want to like fight them or something like. But my question is, how do you, when they were talking about being enough, and I think it's something that I like struggled with too, is to where I felt like if I was maybe my full self, that people wouldn't stay around me. And I've had people close to me that have told me that, like, which is something that I struggle with too, is like being guarded. But there's people that are around me that are very close to me that know like the authentic me. And it's like a struggle for me because a lot of them are always like, if you would just da 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 da, or at least kind of put down that guard and understand that you're more than enough, or that you have a lot more talents and more gifts than you give yourself credit for, that you'd be able to impact a lot of people. But I think for me, it's that, I don't know. I don't even know if that's a question because it doesn't sound like a question.
No, your higher self kind of snuck out a statement that it's hoping that I heard to give you an answer that you're not ready to hear. And it was, both of you have said, and I need you to hear this with all of my heart. What the hell are you hanging around the people you're going to run away by you being authentic? What the hell are you doing hanging around them? Why are you choosing to be less? Well, if I show up in my full self, we had 100 people on this call at one time, 120 people on this call. You know what ran them away? Me being freaking authentic. Do I sit here and go, oh, I need the numbers? That's like having likes on my Instagram page.
No.
You can't hang around me. Buckle up. Here's your one-way ticket. Head out of town. I ain't changing for you. Why do I need to choose to live at my limitless? Oh, but I need Thomas around, who was on my call on January 3rd. I need Sally, who was here. What happened to Katie? Katie used to be here. I need to lower my volume. Are you kidding me? Are you really kidding me? There's 7 billion people on the world. So about every 10 years, I get to have some press in my life that makes me feel good, meaning I get to listen to my own press. And you know what it was? A woman in an airport in San Jose, Costa Rica, saw me 8 years ago on stage, and I got to, okay, that's my one little moment of 15 minutes of fame on a plane heading from San Jose to Dallas. That's my 15 minutes of fame that I get to enjoy and get to eat and go, oh, look how cool I am. Holy crap. People are like, that's him. That's him. Okay. That's enough. That I got my one. Do you think I'm going to turn this down? You know what? Y'all ready for this? I haven't even scratched my surface yet. I haven't even begun to spread my wings yet. It's when you stand tall enough and strong enough. It's just my shoulders that are expanding, that I'm letting you guys hop on because I need you there. I need you to be whispering in my ear, checking me, saying, you're better than this. No, you can answer this without offending me. You can answer this, and you can answer this in such a way that will hear my misery, that will hear my injustice that has been done to me, and not create that injustice. When Brittany says, which is one of the biggest compliments that I've had so far today, because I look for compliments all along, I look for confirmation all along. You know, if it was anybody else, I would cut the heck out of them. But I just don't feel that. And what she said was brilliant, is that when we're sitting across from a prospect, because whoever I'm having a conversation with, Ashley, is a prospect. And when I sit across from you, I don't trigger your injustice. So I'm going to ask you to amp it up, to break it out. You're at the gym, you're looking to tone up, you're looking to get to add muscle, lose weight, do something, increase cardio. When you do that, you're working on the inside and you're working in this part that there's going to be changes. There's going to be changes you love about it. There's going to be things you see differently about you. It takes about 3 weeks for us to see it. It takes about 7 weeks for those around us to see it. But when they start to see it, you're going to go, really? Really? Because you're already accustomed to it. You're already accustomed to the changes that's happening from the gym. Now, all of a sudden, what happens is all of a sudden you start to take on this new thing and you start to hang out with new people because your energy changes. You feel better, you think better, you do different things, you do different. And when you do different, different shows up. But why in the good name of any good book are you hanging around people that you're going to be afraid you're going to run the hell off? Run them off. Give your place space for people to show up. Let me show up in your life. Let's go for a run. Oh, Sean, you got to slow down. I can't keep up. All right, I'll wait. I'm the guy standing at the stoplight jogging. Come on, baby. Come on, bring that spirit. Bring that spirit. I'm hanging on. I can't believe you're doing this. Why are you making me do this? Because I know what you got in you. Come on, baby. Run them the hell off. I love you.
Thank you.
I need you.
Oh, poo poo.
See, I can't. I can go. Oh, you do you, boo boo. You do you, boo boo. I got you, boo boo. It doesn't sound right coming out of this cake hole.
It's just crazy because Ashley and I are like real life friends. And I think, no, because, for real. So, like, when I think one of the, like, if we can go back all the way to the first conversation, not like first, but like the first conversation of like this year, I think when we were on the phone, we were talking about this same thing. And I was like really getting into her, like, don't talk to them. Like, I was just, what I'm saying? I was like, no, they're dumb. They don't deserve you. Why would they act like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to force yourself to be their friend. Like, do you remember that?
Yeah.
And like, it's crazy because all along, I was kind of just in the same space. And I was talking about this just the other day when I said that, when you think that you're losing all of these things, there's always something that says bigger, better, and we hold on to these things. We hold on to these people and we're like, okay, I still want them to be in but it's like you're compromising yourself and it doesn't feel good. And what I've learned to do is to do things that make me feel good, even if they don't make sense, which is just like joy or misery. I'll choose joy, And like Sean was saying earlier, when it says, and there are two choices, life and death. If someone said life and death, they don't even have to say choose life. We would probably automatically say, well, I choose life. But then we go on to live things that slowly kill who we are over and over and over, day by day by day, because we're doing things that aren't speaking to who it is that we actually are, And I always say, like, hey, like, we have to show up for ourselves. We have to show up for ourselves and take ourselves outside of that environment that's putting out our flames, because how can we warm other people if our flame is exhausted? And people will try to do that, and then we come here and we get reignited again and we go and do it again, and there's going to be a certain point where it's like, okay, I can't keep going out in the rain thinking that I'm about to do this and that, because I ain't gonna be able to do this and that. So I need to stay around the people that got the matches, or not even the matches, that want the warmth, that have the thing that they got the logs, the fuel, the whatever, the coal, the lighter fluid. I don't know.
And what's funny is that person has like recently made a decision. I don't know. It was weird. It was like out of the blue, just gone.
And yeah. And that's how, because that kind of happened to me too. It was a little bit extreme, but now they're just vanished. And this has happened to me before in a romantic sense. And it was like I kept saying like, oh, I kept saying like I want to be unattached from this. I want to be detached from this. I want to be detached from this. But I kept holding on to it until something happened. And like one day I was just like, huh, dang, I don't even think about it no more. That's crazy. I thought I was gonna be so affected. I'm not even affected. Like, like it's crazy. It's crazy. I cannot fathom.
I love watching two strong women step into their true essence and letting us watch. I'm feeling both of y'all. Man, y'all are just freaking amazing. I agree with what Dana said in the comments. Sean, do you see what you went up and did?
Fire in the hole.
Y'all are amazing. Y'all are simply amazing. I hope everyone's watching this and getting it for what it really, really is. Like, this is freedom. You're seeing in Ashley, if you look at her, you're seeing the physical manifestations of what freedom will do for you. She is letting the emotions go. She is dropping her shoulders. She's exhaling. And here's what's beautiful. She's doing it all for us to be able to see her. She didn't turn her camera off. She allowed us to see her and walk with her and exhale with her. And if you watch, you will physically see the freedom setting in and the pressure relieving. And that's a beautiful thing to watch, because oftentimes we don't think it can still happen. And it's letting go of what you don't need, who you don't need, and accepting your true essence and being okay with your true essence, whether anyone else approves of you or not. You guys are watching Addiction to Approval break, and you're seeing the physical manifestation of that in Ashley on her camera. And that's amazing. And things will come to you, Ashley, in a total different way. You are a very powerful woman, but you will step into a level of strength and power that you've never felt before, because it will be in freedom, and you won't be hesitant anymore whenever you approach people. You won't be worried about mowing them down or just flattening them out. You won't be worried about that, because you have found freedom in your strength, and it is okay. It's absolutely fabulous for you to be you, and for Brittany to be Brittany, and for Rhonda to be Rhonda. There's enough room in the world. There's enough oxygen in the air for all of us to breathe in deeply and exhale and say the words we need to say. Y'all are a beautiful representation of what Sean teaches and what comes out of this man's heart, out of his mouth. Thank you for sharing that with us. Made my morning even brighter. I love y'all.
Oh, and look at what time it is. It's at 2 hours again. You see
How crazy.
How crazy. You see what it takes to release this? We have to stay in it. And we're down to 30 people again. This is the people that are like, oh, oh man, Sean's called. Yeah, I left about an hour and a half. Oh no, at 2 hours is when it got sexy. Ashley, I love you. Breathe in the fact that faith and courage is finding you, is being released from inside. Exhale the fear and doubt. Fear and doubt knocked on the home of faith and courage. Faith and courage opened the door, and no one was there. You're about to step into a place where no one is there. And in that stepping into the place where no one is there, know that you are always on that other side of the door. The door is it's a distraction in the place of joy you've always been, thinking you had to get through it. You've always been there. Hey, Gina.
Thank you.
You bet. I love you. Gina, you got your hand up.
Hello.
Hello, good morning, everybody.
No, I hear this little bird of a joy shows up. It's like having a little cardinal on my chirp, 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 chirp. Hello.
So, I feel like I've been getting a lot of signs and synchronicities. Side note, I think God is trying to talk to me through animals. I don't know if I'm going crazy, but that's something
You
I've
did
been
that with
realizing.
Saint Francis of Assisi, so you're in good company.
Okay, so I was like, am I going crazy or am I just seeing things? I don't know. But like, I've been getting a lot of signs and synchronicities that it's kind of like time for me to start and like, put both feet in the water when it comes to this business. But
Mhm.
I find myself like trying to figure out where to start. And then when I try to figure out where to start, I get like overwhelmed and then I just do nothing. And then it's like an ongoing cycle that I've just been like repeating over and over and over again.
So here's a question. Is it okay if you start?
I don't know.
That's why you can't find the starting. When you decide it's okay to start, you'll start from there.
Cause like part of me is like, okay, let's start. But then like I feel like I'm not prepared. So
Okay,
then I go into like
what skill or
preparing.
what skill or talent would you need to have in place right now to start? Not even sure where to start. Not asking where. What skill or talent do you think you would need to have to start?
Hmm, that's a good question.
Yeah, that's why I get paid the big money.
Mm, yeah. I don't know.
So do you think a decision, yes or no? Do you want to start?
I do.
Okay. And if you started, do you think you'd want a positive result or a negative result?
A positive result.
Do you think you could start right now and do something very simple that would allow you to have a positive result? Do you think starting, saying, okay, today's the day I'm going to reach out to one person I'm going to reach out and say, have you ever thought about an alternate source of income? I'm going to reach out and say, what do you do for a plan B? I'm going to reach out and say, X, Y, and Z. Do one, just do one. Did you do one yesterday?
Yeah.
Did you do one activity yesterday?
Like reaching out to somebody?
Yeah. So if you did one today, wouldn't that be 100% more than you did yesterday? You don't have to figure out, how do I start and do 50?
Yeah, I think that's what tends to happen. And then I
Yeah,
find myself
because
overwhelmed.
it's as you become attracted to the distraction of, well, like if I can't do 50, I'm not going to do any. Then you wake up in the morning going, I didn't do anything yet. I'm such a loser.
Yeah.
Better communication skills, Jasmine. Jasmine, can you type hello in the chat? You're an amazing communicator. Look, you said hello to me. It's genius. Hello and be a friend. That's all. Hello and be a friend. You don't have to learn my skill. You know how I learned you know how I learned my skill? By having your skill. Every expert started as a beginner. Go in love, go in peace, go in love. Go in love. Find somebody, Gina, who's in the same genre that you are, that loves the same thing, that loves artwork. Find somebody that goes, hey, where'd you get that artwork? Eventually, somebody's going to ask, based upon human nature and understanding the predictability that is the human mind. You haven't figured that out. That's why I'm pretty good at what I do. I've just been around enough minds to know, oh, well, they said this is what's coming. Oh, look, there it is. When you go, how'd you know that? Because I knew what was coming. Somebody's going to ask you, Gina, what do you do? I find amazing friends and a company rewards me to help them have more of what they want in life. Start. Don't build your business. Go build people. Go find somebody that's new. Go find somebody you can have a conversation with. Go find somebody. Where are you at in the world? What is your physical?
I'm in Florida.
You're in Florida. What part of Florida?
Naples.
Naples. So there's probably a lot of people there's a lot of wealth in Naples. Oh my God, me too. Jasmine's in Naples as well. There's a lot of people in Naples. There's a lot of wealth in Naples. They may have not come down. They're the snowbirds, right? So maybe they're there now. Maybe they don't want to go back to New York, which is an epicenter of COVID-19. So now all of a sudden there's a lot of people who are scared down there. And there's a couple of dichotomies. There's the wealthy who are staying in the room and having people bring them all of their food. And then there's the people who are bringing them all their food. What's the conversation you can have about that?
Are you asking me?
I'm just saying, think
Oh,
about it.
okay. Sorry.
Don't think about what it is you want to say. What it is that, what is it that they feel? What is it that if they could let somebody hear, just like you shared on this call, what is it that if they could, if somebody could hear them, what would they want to be heard saying? Can you be that person to listen? Can you say, how many times yesterday, if you had to guess, how many times yesterday did you get to say thank you?
I mean, off the top of my head, I can think of like 5 times.
Okay, so here's your homework for today. Do you have more than 100 friends in your social media contacts?
Yeah.
Go find 100 of them and say thank you to them today and come back and tell me what you did. Tell me what happened.
Okay.
100.
100.
100 thank yous. Go say 100 thank yous. Type it in a chat. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. Thanks for the laugh. I looked on your page. Spend some time in your business. Your business is people, period. GH Vibe. Give me a sound check on your mic real quick. I just want to hear if I can hear your voice. Does your mic not work? Unmute yourself. Or do I need to do it for you? You're unmuted. Do you have a mic?
Come again. I didn't. The question again, please.
Okay, is to just say hello. I wanted to see if you could hear me. Where are you calling in from? I'm judging by your amazing cloak that you might be international.
Yeah, I'm calling from Ghana.
Ghana. I love that you're here from Ghana. Do you realize right now you and I are having a conversation in front of 30 people?
Not really.
So you're this amazing soul. Tell me your name.
Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, it's an honor and a privilege to have you here. Thank you for being part of the sane community that's looking for a way to make themselves better. What a gift you have.
Well, I've not discovered my gift yet. I don't know where. I've not discovered my gifts or talents. No.
Where do you think your gift is? Outside of you?
Yes, please.
I'm going to encourage you today to realize the gift is inside of you. Put your hand like this. You are your gift, my brother. You are your gift. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
You bet, man. I can't wait to learn more about you. I appreciate you being here today.
Thank you.
Hey, Chas, go ahead. You got your hand up, my love.
Hi.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I just got to stop for just a second. All of these I mean, if I were to show my buddies, the women who get on my call, between Ashley and there's women in robes and there's Danielle and there's Gina and there's all of these people and Rhonda and Brittany and every one of you and Jasmine and Brianna, and you look at all of these photos and then you show up with this smile and you're just new to the call, day 2. And it's like, they're like, wait a minute, how much are you like, what are you giving these people to show up on your call? All of these sexy people.
You're making all the men jealous, Sean.
Yeah, I know. Suck it up, Buttercup.
No, for real. Like, I was actually going to say that. Like, there are so many beautiful women on this call. Like, Ashley, you were crying, and I was just like, wow, she's so beautiful. Like, that is just amazing to me. But I guess one thing I really did want to speak on, because I love getting on these calls, especially because it's really interactive. And looking at so many people be raw with their emotions and like, no, girl, I know, I don't either. But looking at so many people with their emotions, and it's just, number one, Ashley, I did want to say to you, like, Sean is so right when he says that it does not matter who is going to be in your circle. It does not matter who wants to leave your circle, your life. And that's one thing I had to truly realize, is because I considered myself to be an orphan from my mom and my dad, because like it was a point in time when my mom and me didn't talk for years. I never really knew my dad. So like I was with my grandmother and my aunt, and they took care of me. They definitely poured a lot into me, but that relationship with my mom, that was really a struggle for me. And over time, I definitely think that I definitely grew some abandonment issues, of course, being young, then having relationships, like all this stuff. And I definitely had a fear of people not accepting me for me being me. And as I got older, and I told y'all a lot, like yesterday, a year ago, I made a lot of changes in my life. And the first one had to do with me being defensive and me also feeling like I was abandoned. And with that being said, I feel like God really spoke to me and letting me know that everything that goes on outside of me has nothing to do with me. I can only fix what is on the inside of me and reflect that. And that can only happen when you are your true, authentic self. So I understand that it's very scary to put yourself out there, but when you think about it, it's just like, I always tell myself the worst answer that I can get is a no. The worst answer I can get is somebody telling me that they don't vibe with me, and that is okay. Like, I really don't feel like I should have to please somebody or continuously please somebody and feel less and less myself. And I feel like that also comes from the fact of I was in a really emotionally abusive relationship. So that right there, like there's a lot of growing and a lot of experiences that you have to, definitely go through. But at the end of the day, everything that you have gone through as regarding people has grown you into such an amazing woman, and you have compassion that a lot of people don't have. So these are the things that you should probably look at instead of feeling like, you're not enough, because you have more than a lot of people out here really have, as far as being compassionate, being kind, being loving, being caring, because those are the things that at the end of the day, that's what's going to matter when you're gone. So I just really wanted to say that, especially for Ashley, because I really understand that, and I really get that. So, yeah.
Chaz, thank you for showing up. Now, is Chase short for something?
Chastity.
Okay. Chastity, thank you for showing up.
Of course.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for pouring into these women. Listen, the one thing that I know is we're a little different, all of us.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I also know is when a strong woman shows up, it's okay for me to sit down. So between you and Ashley and Brittany having these conversations, because there is a vibration, there is an essence, and Rhonda and I talk about this all the time. There is an essence that's why I go, RBP, show up, and she'll show up and she'll say exactly. And I was talking with my bride the other day about it, and I'll go, Rhonda says exactly what I say. And it's funny because years ago that would have challenged me. Well, why can't they hear it? I need to get better at them hearing it. You will never hear it from my words. Right? So when you speak to each other, that's why I love and encourage all of us, guys, to speak and women to speak. And the interaction we have is because it's the essence with which we hear it. Because I'm the papa, the guru, the blah, 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 whatever name I get titled, it's like, well, I can't hear it from him because, oh my gosh, he's saying it. But then when it's like, well, they're more like me than he's like me, and I can hear it from him. Oh my gosh, I get it. That's all I want is I want us to get it. Because when we get it, we'll realize we already had it. So thank you for showing up, my love.
Of course. I'm sorry. I did have a question.
Okay, good. I got 73 answers. We'll see which one works.
Okay. And it also goes along with what Gianni, I believe that's her name. That's what she was talking about, how she didn't exactly know like if she should start her business. And I was definitely here like maybe a week and a half ago.
Yep.
But I just decided to, you know, kind of find some things that interested me about the business. And it's definitely, truthfully, it has really nothing to do with the money for me. Like the money, of course it's great, but I feel like there's a higher calling on my life. And I get a lot of visions about speaking to masses of people. And I guess my question is like, I know that I have put myself in the leadership role a lot, but why am I so scared of being a leader? Like, I feel like the responsibility of so many people on my back, like, no, I'm not gonna say terrifies me, but it is really trying sometimes.
So as a leader, what do you have to give them?
Well, I mean, I think I have a lot of guidance.
No, not what do you have to give them? What do you have to give them?
Oh, as far as like the business or what?
What your fear is being able to give them something. What is it you fear? What is it you fear you don't have to give?
For me personally, like I feel like I'm not that organized of a person. Like I am, but at the same time, like it's just having the responsibility of, you know, them being able to self-develop and them like being able to grow, kind of, I guess, in this business specifically.
And whose responsibility is it for them to grow?
Theirs.
So then what do you have to fear? There's an expression in public speaking, be responsible to them, not for them. And the hard part is telling a strong woman to not take care of their family.
Yeah.
Well, can I chime in, Chaz? Because
No.
Stop it. I'm going to anyway. Mute yourself.
Yeah, I know.
It's so funny that you're saying this right now, because last night when I spoke, we did it was on deep cleaning, things that you need to get rid of. And the lady had all these things laid out on pieces of paper, words: worry, frustration, fear, anxiety, rebellion, self-worth, self-esteem, confidence, all this kind of stuff. And she said, everybody go pick up one up before Rhonda speaks, because we're going to use these later after she's done. And I walked up there and I was looking, I was like, well, you know, I don't know. I've worked on that. I've worked on that. And I thought, you know what? Doubt. And I grabbed doubt, because at 4 years old, God put a vision in my mind between the ages of 4 and 5. And I saw myself speaking on stages to thousands. 6 months ago, if you told me to tell you that dream, I couldn't tell you. And now I can say it. I have no problem with it. But I doubt oftentimes that I have what they need to hear, or what answers they need for me to answer to give them, for them to grow.
Yes.
And as I spoke and I realized doubt was my issue, I began to realize what Sean said, which is, I'm not responsible for them. I'm responsible to them to show up on time, to get out of God's way, to deliver whatever the Holy Spirit tells me to say and to speak on, and to not stop that flow. That's what I'm responsible for. He does all the heavy lifting for me. So I'm not responsible for them or for all the answers. I'm just responsible to them. And it's funny that you're saying this, because it's shaking my insides. And when my insides shake, I know what that means. And when you step out of this fear of this addiction to approval, which you may not think you have, and I've worked on mine, and mine's less. On this heaven, I'll always have it. I want to claim it, but that's just human nature. You'll have those moments where you jump in and out of that. Even the best of them still do. As you begin to work on your addiction to approval, that doubt becomes less and less. And then what your measure of success For me, and what it could be for you is when the doubt comes, I don't entertain it very long anymore. So it's that time span of which I entertain doubt. What are you laughing at, Sean? So he'll say that in a minute. He's afraid to get cut at the moment. Look at him. Don't turn your screen off, brother. I know where you live. So I want to encourage you that sit with yourself, call Sean, call me, call whoever, and see what it is that triggers this doubt. Is it addiction to approval that triggers your doubt? Is it the addiction to approval that is going to make you scared to succeed? I never understood that term until I started doing a lot more brain work.
Oh my gosh.
You're scared to succeed. This is what that feels like. And you always go, what kind of fool would be scared to succeed? That's stupid. Well, hello and welcome to the club. Because that's what happens, because we let doubt and we let addiction to approval take over. So then we get scared to succeed because we're like, that there's no way I could lead that many people. I ain't got enough knowledge. I'm not wise enough. And you do all the I can'ts. When God gave you the dream, and he would have never given you the dream if he wasn't going to give you the tools to utilize that you need during that dream and during that vision as it comes to pass. So with that, I say, stiffen your spiritual spine, put your shoulders back, put your head up, and step into this and rise up, mighty woman. We need you to show up. I need you to show up, because as you do, you make me stop doing my makeup and getting ready and turn to the camera and start talking. Because you stir in me something and the Holy Spirit goes, stop doing what you're doing, pay attention, listen, talk. Okay, say this. And I need you to show up, because that's what you teach me and that's what you give me today, is a moment in your life so God can have more moments in my life, and he can adjust my heart even more so and fine tune it to where when I see somebody today, just like those ladies said last night, they'll see compassion in my eyes and they'll see their value reflected in my vision to them. So step into this, quit being scared of the success that God has for you, and receive the blessings, and quit giving him a hand to the face and then wondering why you don't get what everybody else gets. Put your hands up instead of out. Receive it, sister. You're amazing.
Oh my gosh, you literally just told me about myself, and I needed it. I needed that, so thank you.
Love you, girl.
Love you.
All right, Sean, now what were you laughing at?
The dog was tickling my foot.
Oh, whatever. You're so full of it.
Here's a question for y'all. Think about this for just a second. How many job descriptions do you have?
You got a little too much.
Think about this. How many job descriptions do you have? Mom, sister, daughter, blah, 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 entrepreneur, marketer, compensation plan teacher. No wonder you're tired. No wonder you're exhausted. All of those job descriptions are fractions of you. Come back home to you. Come back. My goal is to be a better dad, better husband. Every breath, that's what I look for. Most of the times I can remember to breathe. Find your bigger reason. Right now, people are going to need people who have reason, people who have their place, people who have their confidence. Don't be somebody else. Be you. Noah, go ahead, Noah. Another sexy
morning,
head of hair
everybody.
going on here. Go ahead, Noah.
So what you just said, how many job titles do we have?
Mm-hmm.
Can we my question to myself was, when you said that, I answered, of course, a lot. Like, and then you started explaining all of these titles that we have, and I started thinking of all the titles that I have, and then I started thinking about titles that I give myself, like when I'm talking to people and they ask me what I do, and I say, oh, I'm a trader, or I'm a network marketer, or I'm a photographer. I give myself all these different job descriptions, but then I ask myself, well, why can't I just be myself, but also enjoy doing these activities? So I don't know. I just thought about that. I felt like sharing it.
So the flight attendants who are sitting behind the ticket counter saying, oh my gosh, I know him. Somebody, he's an actor, he's something. And they're all, and the one, Nadine, who actually knew me or recognized me, is talking to the other ones. And she tells this guy, go over and ask him who he is. Go over and ask him who he is. So he makes his beeline to me. And I'm like, so I'm just standing there. I got my shoulder, my leather briefcase shoulder on my shoulder. And I got my camera case down between my legs. And he walks up to me and he goes, hey, how are you? I said, outstanding. He goes, who are you? I go, that's a fascinating question. What begs that question? He goes, well, the flight attendants over there are all arguing. You're an actor. You're somebody. You're somebody famous.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know about that. But you know what I hope? I said, tell me your name. He said, my name's Donald. I said, I'm Sean. Donald, would it be okay if you help me find out who I am? And he's like,
whoa.
I said, because evidently there's an amazing story that I wish I knew, that I wish I was that person. So can you help me find out who I am? Because I know exactly who I am. I want to know who they think I am.
Yeah.
But I know exactly who I am. I told him my goal in life standing here right now is to be a better dad, better husband. How is standing by myself until you show up, Donald, being a better dad, better husband? I said, because you showed up. I gave you space to show up. You showed up. And now all of a sudden we're having a conversation, and you live where? He says, in Phoenix. Do you think this conversation will last with you more than a day? He says, it already will. It's changed my life. We're not 2 minutes into this conversation. I said, do you think you'll ever giggle about this in front of somebody? He said, yes. I said, then that smile will show up for my family. My job is done here. Why do we make it so complicated? I don't have titles.
I have no clue, but we tend to do it.
When I think I have a title, when I come home from an amazing event in Costa Rica, my friends are asking me, did you get out of country because of the virus and this, that, and the other? And yes. And I come home and I've stood on stage in front of 200 plus amazing souls, and their lives have been impacted and enhanced. And I hope I gave them all I had. There were tears, there were laughter, there was joy. And I get home and my bride reminds me, did you feed the dogs?
Right back to square one.
I'm at square, the top of the mountain. I get to feed the dogs. It's the most joyous moment. The dogs are happy. I'm home. I get to go out and pick up dog poop. It's been raining for 2 weeks here in Dallas. Most of it's been washed away. How joyous of an occasion. Change the way we look at things and the things we look at. Imagine if that smile, if that Noah smile showed up in every conversation, the world would be such a better place. Your world would be such a better place.
I try to bring it up as much as possible.
Well, there you go. Try and let me know how that works. I'll get back to me in another lifetime. I do it every time. Just tell yourself, limit yourself. You're sexy. You're sexy. You got the voice. I've told you this. You look sexy. You got a great body. You're in fit shape. You got amazing hair. You got the smile. You got the little gap there that everybody's like, oh, it's just gorgeous. It's like having a little freckle. You're good in all ways. And then we go, well, I'm going to try to be me. Frickety frack, jumping jack. Just go be it.
Absolutely. That's correct.
Love you, brother.
Love you too. Love you guys. Thank you.
Hey, Noah.
Yes, ma'am.
There she goes. Of course she's got to get in. Of course she's got to jump on.
I do. I'm not scared to anymore. Noah, you're sitting there struggling. If you saw you the way I see you,
run.
Your mind, well, yeah, first of all, run in the natural because I might attack you. But in your essence, if you saw you the way I see you, the way I see Chaz, the way I see Brittany, the way I see Ashley, the way I see everybody, my new kind of brother, the way I see all y'all, if y'all saw y'all the way I see y'all, you would soar in everything you do. Because when I talk to Sean and I tell him, are you seeing who we're on the calls with? Are you hearing these people? Are you seeing this? And it's the potential. You guys are amazing. Noah, you are this fabulous man.
Thank you.
The way you love your family, the way you love others. Let doubt go. Let doubt
Absolutely.
go. Step into every bit of your greatness. You are amazing. You are amazing. Yeah, be good to people. All you have to do to be good to people is be present. Share that smile with them and hear their heart. Who they are speaks louder than what they say.
Right.
And you're good at that. Noah, I'm going to encourage you. Step into your greatness. You are amazing.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing. And I love you.
I love you guys as well. Thank you guys for everything you give me, everything, all the value, all the wisdom, all the encouragement.
And you come every day to the well, and we've got the source.
Yeah,
we
you
figured
got
out our
buckets of water.
source.
Absolutely. I love getting filled up here. Thank you guys.
Love you, brother. Thank you. And thanks for the smile you're about to share, because it'll show up for me and for my family. I'm grateful. Brandon, you got your hand up, brother. We're going to wrap it up with you, man.
Hey, how's it going?
Outstanding.
Just wanted to thank everybody that got on the call. The powerful women, Noah, Rhonda, you, it's truly amazing. But the question that I had was, I was coming into work, and in the past, I shared a situation with some of the coworkers and how they kind of like say smart things about the industry that I'm in. But today, when I was walking to, 'cause I drive trucks, I was walking to the garage to get my truck, and it was two gentlemen who I work with, and they were like, the one was like, you always have a response for everything. Like he seems like you really should be a lawyer. And so, and I thought it was funny. And so, and then so he asked somebody else, and he was like, yeah, he was like, you always have a response for everything. And so after that question, after that response, it made me like reflect on it. And I was just like, there's a lesson I need to learn from that. In terms of even them saying something to me and how I react to it, in terms of always having something to say instead of like more so appreciating them for the lesson that they're giving me. And so like, and I guess I'm answering it right now for myself, but but yeah, it's pretty cool because I'm just saying to myself, I'm like, well, I'm thinking and I'm doing things like that are I'm thinking I'm doing things better, differently, and things like that. But wow, I still got to work on that, which is something that opened my eyes, and I'm on the journey to like work on that, because I don't want to think like that I know everything or anything like that. It's just
So here's a couple of here's a couple of dilemmas. One, when people say you should be an attorney, a lawyer is somebody that uses the facts to their best ability and is only allowed and allows you to make a decision based upon the best way they present the facts. That's an attorney. There's a difference between an attorney and a father who uses the same facts but does it in love. So can you be in such a state of not having to defend or to prove any question that's raised to you?
Yes.
So in that state, you will now have a response instead of an answer. You have an answer for everything. Big difference when they say you have a response for everything.
Okay. Wow. Thank you.
So when they make a statement, go that I'd love to know the conversation that brought you to that statement. I'm just curious to hear that. And you could ask them that question. Now all of a sudden you've created a dialogue.
Okay.
And the other answer could be is, you know what? You're absolutely right. I've never seen anybody say something more powerful than you. You do you the best I've ever seen anybody do you. That is an amazing statement you made. Thank you for sharing it with me today. What just happened?
Yeah, that's next level.
Yeah.
Wow. I appreciate it.
Love you, brother.
It's like it's it's like things that especially we've learned even on this call. But then and in spite of the moment, it's just the simple fact of just like even pausing for a second before you just jump out and react. And so yeah, I thank you everyone.
So I'm gonna use you a truck analogy for you.
Mm-hmm.
So are you driving a city truck, or it looks like because the cab's ends right behind you. So you're driving a city truck, there's no sleeper on it.
No sleeper.
Right. So if you had a sleeper truck, that means you're going overnight, right? Or you're going long haul.
Yes.
So you're home most nights, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between how often do you have to grease your fifth wheel versus an over the road driver? Who greases their fifth wheel more often?
They do. They
Right?
definitely do.
They definitely do, right? Because they got longer hauls. But it's still just a straight route. But it's that little change that's constantly happening over 1,000 miles. Because you don't do 1,000 miles in a week, maybe you do. But the point is they'll do 1,000 miles in a day, and it's just that little friction that they got to grease the fifth wheel more because of the pressure that's there, and that's just the slightest little friction. Just driving down the highway, just staying in the lane, not even switching lanes. So the question is can you be the grease for the fifth wheel every time somebody speaks?
Wow. Definitely.
Now, do you drive the same truck every day?
Every single day.
Every single day. So that's your truck. Does anybody else ever drive your truck? No. Does somebody else do the maintenance on your truck?
If it's mechanical, yes.
Yeah.
But certain things we do on our own.
Okay. So do you pay for the tires on your truck?
Oh no. No.
No, because they're $1,000 a piece. Are you dualies in the back, or are you the single tires in the back?
Oh no, they're dualies.
They're dualies. So the thing that runs your truck, the thing that you meet the road with, you didn't even buy. How many of us is that our thoughts?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
We could go all day, brother.
I appreciate it.
Love you tons, man. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being an amazing source.
Too. Thank you.
Well, I'd ask y'all, what'd we learn, what'd we like? I'd ask you to write that down. What'd you learn, what'd you like from today? You can definitely go to the replay and have some fun watching the replays. I appreciate you. Thanks for making my life better. Thanks for pouring into my world. Thanks for just being these amazing souls. And I love I get to do this. Watch this. Hey, Chaz. Watch that smile show up. Look at that. I get to do this. Who else is there? Okay. Let's see. No, those are the only ones on camera. And then I need to go RBP. Watch RBP. All right, y'all. Y'all send some love to each other. I appreciate y'all. I'm Sean Murphy, founder of Mental Profits, and I'll see y'all where? At the next event. Say love.
Bye, y'all. Love y'all.
See you later,
Have a great
guys.
day.
Bye, y'all.
Love all y'all.
Bye,
Everybody
guys.
have a blessed one.
I love you guys.
Safe
Y'all have
out
a
there
great
in the
day.
world.
Love you guys.
You guys have a great day. Love you all.
Love you.